Hello there everyone, future feature film director, the Rookie Critic here, and today I'm just doing a little video discussing the RippaVerse a little bit. So, Eric July, I only follow him a little bit, see some of his streams on occasion. I don't really watch too much of his content, and I followed some of the Comicsgate stuff for a little while here, being a comic book noob, thinking that the comics weren't even printed anymore these days until a couple years ago I realized, oh, they are still? Oh, wow, okay, I didn't know that. So I've been interested in the independent sphere of a lot of things because I also want to be like a filmmaker on the independent racket. Don't want to be in Hollywood specifically. They're trying to do their own things away from Marvel and DC with comic books. And there's been a model for the most part for crowdfunding comic books for a little while with Comicsgate. And so seeing Rippa come out with his RippaVerse and doing it a little differently here, starting his own website, having the full book all the way done and all that stuff. He has the assets to be able to complete all of it beforehand. I know some crowdfunders don't have the means to do that beforehand. That's why they require the crowdfunding to fund the book and everything. But he's like starting his own company with it, and he's doing that, and it's something, I don't know, it's pretty cool. That alone has a lot of interest to me because he's investing, it's somebody in our YouTube sphere that's actually investing like all of this stuff into a company and hoping that that works. And right now it's just been a little over a day and he's got almost $1 million funded on it. Like he's got almost 10,000 backers, I think, around there, and it's like, dude, that's freaking amazing, man. That is great. And of some people, I've seen a lot of comments on it. People are hating on it here and there, which is bound to happen, and that's the thing that happens sometimes. But part of the reason why they're upset seems to be just quite odd. Like that, they're like, well, it hasn't been successful yet. You don't know if people even want it. They're just simping for you prior to reading the comic book. I mean, you could have a point, but when people are trying things for the first time, they're gonna try it and then see if they back in the future. Maybe, that's what I would think. For me, I'm gonna back this book and see how it is, and if I like the book, then I might back another one. If I don't, then I don't know if I will, but I still like what he's doing with his brand here, with the RippaVerse, with how he's doing this, because he's basing it on ethics. He's seen how other companies treat their customers and how it is on Twitter and everything. It gets ridiculous, and so he's trying to do a different standard. So even if you don't like the comic book in any way, shape, or form, he seems like the kind of guy that can take a criticism or that can take a customer complaint and a concern and deal with it in a way that isn't insulting to the audience, essentially, which that alone could help keep customers coming back even if they don't like some of the comic books. That's what I would say. They'd at least be more willing to give it a chance. That's kind of how I see it. I've also heard some people say that it's foolish that he's starting it like this. Like maybe he should see how his first comic book does and then invest all this extra money into it and everything and then see where to go from there and then start pumping out more books, start pumping out the animations and whatever else you're trying to do, which I would say that is a way you could approach doing a business, sure, and see if you're cut out for it. But I would say based on how Rippa's been acting and behaving in it, he is fully confident with himself and is trying to do it his very best that he can and is willing to invest so much of his money and his time and effort and everything and knowledge into trying to make this happen, that I think it is totally worth it to just put your chips on the table and go forward with it. He wants this to be his career right now. He wants to go forward with this. Like you said, it's not a side project that he's doing on occasion. He wants this to be his future. It's not like he's going to dip his toe in the water and then see how warm it is and then see that. It seems like he's like, okay, I've seen what I want to see. I feel like I know what I want to do. And then he's going for it. Which, if I had a project that I was that passionate about, I would probably do the same thing as best as I can. Right now, I am in a learning phase when it comes to things about film. I'm not ready to make that type of commitment yet. I don't know enough about the things to make these types of decisions, but I'm trying to get there. And seeing Rippa already do this in comic form, a lot of comic stuff seems to happen before film stuff anyway these days. This is cool to see. It's a good template to see how it figures out. A year from now, 2 years from now, it'd be really cool to see where this is at and see where other crowdfunders are also at. And then if there's other areas as well, there's filmmakers. This has been seen as pretty inspiring to a lot of people that want to get things done. There's a lot of people that have skill in different areas, and it's like this is an example of somebody really pursuing it with all of his chips on the table and seeing how that does. And I don't know, that's what I'm taking away from it. I'm more interested in that aspect of like the business and how that's working, and how that he's able to follow something that he's passionate about, more than how the comic is going to look. But if the comic is also interesting and has a cool story, that will be a sprinkle on top for me. So that's what that is. Anyway, that's all I got to say for today, and I'll leave a link to that in the description below so you guys can check out the RippaVerse if you want. There you go. And I think by the time I post this, it might already be over 1 million, so I don't know. But that's all I got to say. I'll see you guys later.